What's good, everybody? What's good, everybody? We have a nice video. This video, it was posted 2 days ago. Yeah. It was posted 2 days ago. But I forgot to react to it. I didn't watch it. I seen it and I decided to wait. So now, after this video, I will be reacting to their brand new one. So yeah, make sure that you guys stay tuned for those. Today, we will be reacting to This Car Doesn't Play by the Rules. It is a Hyundai, as you guys can see right there. And without further ado, make sure that you guys like, comment, subscribe. We're almost at 600 subs. And yeah, let's do it.
This is the new.
If you guys hear any noise coming from upstairs, they are doing renovations upstairs. I got no control. So yeah.
Hyundai Ioniq 9, and it's a little bit like Serena Williams. You see, it's based on the Kia EV9. That's its sister car, but it's come along later, and there's a good chance it's actually going to be better. Sorry about that, Venus, but you know it's true. Anyway, we're going to find out if that's going to be the case in this video. I'm Matt Watson, and you're watching Car Wow.
Hyundai used to be seen as a budget alternative to Japanese and European brands. 20 years ago, their best-selling car in Europe was the Getz, which wasn't exactly inspiring. Since then, it has pushed further up market with some hugely popular cars like the Tucson SUV. But Hyundai hasn't been afraid to make some bold decisions along the way, like the Ioniq 5's eye-catching design. It looks completely different than any other car on the road. And this theme continues with the new Ioniq 9. Unlike most flagship cars, this isn't a conventional electric SUV or a luxurious saloon. Instead, it's a practical family car with up to 7 seats, just like its sister car, the Kia EV9. But despite sharing the same platform, there are some important differences between these two models, including the price. This new Ioniq 9 costs from just under £65,000, which is about £1,000 less than the cheapest Kia EV9.
But comparing cars on their list prices isn't actual reality, and this is why you need to use Car Wow. You see, the Kia EV9 has been out for quite a while. As a result, there are discounts available on it. So through Car Wow, you can save £6,000 off a Kia EV9. This is brand new, so Hyundai hasn't discounted it just yet, but they might do in future. And that's why you need to head to Car Wow if you're thinking about changing your car, so you can compare what prices are actually available that you will pay at a dealer. Now, if you want to do that now, you can just click on the pop-out banner appearing in the top right hand corner of the screen, scan the QR code on screen, or find the link in the description or pinned comment of this video. Thing is though, I'm not sure whether I prefer the look of this or the Kia. The Kia is quite easy to like the look of. This is a bit more challenging but also more interesting. So the light design is really cool. So you've got daytime running lights here with this pattern which is mimicked in this panel underneath this see-through perspex. It's not grille obviously, it's an electric car. And then you have your main headlights down here and you've got matrix LEDs so they can blank out part of their beam. That's kind of cool. And then underneath here, all like the ADAS safety stuff and sensors is hidden away. Slight concern over this because it's transparent perspex. Is that going to get really scratched when you go to one of those quick car cleaning places and they're always using like dirty sponges and cloths? It'll get a bit messy. That'd be interesting to see what happens actually. Anyway, moving down the side, alloy wheel starts at 19 inches, which is going to be too small. These are 21s and they look good. Then there's this weird feature here, which is this panel there. And actually on lower spec versions, they're black. There's something about this angle of the car sort of reminds me of another car, and I think it's the Genesis GV80, which interestingly is a bit of a copy of a Bentley Bentayga. So this is a copy of a copy. What do you think it looks like? Let me know in the comments. What car does it remind you of? Anyway, you've got poppy outed door handles like you get on many electric cars to reduce drag, make them more efficient. And then moving down the back, as you can see, it's very, very long this. You have this very interesting wraparound tail light design there. All that fully illuminates, and then there's an extra light down here, a bit like a rain light on a Formula 1 car. That's the only similarity to a Formula 1 car, by the way, obviously. Do you know what though? I find this angle of the car most challenging. Same with the Hyundai Santa Fe. The rear is just like, do I like it? Do I not? I'm not sure.
The Ioniq 9 is quite
I'm just not a fan of the exterior at all. It's just all over the place. It really is all over the place. I don't know what they was doing.
striking looking car. But if you're after something with a bit more of a conventional looking design with 3 rows of seats, you might want to check out the Peugeot E5008 or the Mercedes EQB.
but none of them have quite the tech of this car. So the interior is dominated by this long screen here. Now the graphics are quite dark, but they are crisp. It's reasonably responsive. There's quite a few menus which can be a bit confusing, like why do I need things like sports and voice memos, but you can move things around to where you want them. But I do find that it is a little bit confusing trying to get into the deeper menus. You get there in the end, but it is a bit of a faff. Then you've got the main digital driver's display. It's got a lot of information on it. You can cycle through different views and menus and lots of different information, and this particular car is fitted with a heads-up display as well, which is really useful when you're driving. There's some other tech as well which I'll talk about a bit later on. One of the things I really like about this car is the drive select switch here. It kind of feels a bit rude here on the steering column anyway, but everything's right at your fingertips. So drive, reverse, and the start button there as well. So you're not looking around for it. It's really, really easy to drive. I like the fact that the build quality of the switches is really nice. So these are things you use quite a lot, and they feel nicely damped and expensive. And overall, the interior quality is pretty blooming good. The steering wheel feels nice. These materials feel nice. This is soft like leatherette. The sponge underneath the armrest is just so deep. And on here, it's only when you go lower down that things get a little bit like brittle, but it never feels cheap. The only thing that I think is a bit weird is the dash design. I quite like this stepped effect, but this coating on here sort of has a sticky feel to it. I wonder as it ages if it's going to start peeling off. I mean, I don't know, might not. One thing I do like though is that they haven't buried the climate control into the infotainment system. It's all easily accessible here through this panel, so you can just set the temperature dead easy and press away to increase the fan speed. I'd rather have an actual click physical button, but this panel is still better than having to do it through there. Some of the things you need to know: the steering wheel adjustment, yeah, it moves up, down, in and out, but I feel like it needs to come out a little bit further for my ideal driving position. Seats themselves are really comfy and highly adjustable as well, which is good. You've got plenty of cubby spaces as well, and they're really big. So underneath this armrest, look this little tray here with a very fat USB cable. More on that in a bit. And look at all this space under here, which actually goes under this part as well. Then we have two cup holders there. They're deep enough so even thin bottles won't rattle about too much, and they can hold bigger bottles as well. Speaking of which, the door bins are large. You'll probably notice this, not particularly on brand, sorry Hyundai. And down here you have another storage tray as well. You've got your USBs there, 3 USB-Cs, and I like the action for the 12-volt socket, the way it's under this cover like that. The glove box is a decent enough size, goes back quite far, and we have a big vanity mirror which is illuminated, and this particular car is fitted with the panoramic sunroof. The blind actually retracts reasonably quickly and the roof opens, though it doesn't open quite as far as I'd like it to. You think it should go further, but it doesn't appear to. Minor grumble. Overall though, really, really nice interior. Now if you're wondering how this compares to the interior of the Kia EV9, they're very similar, but there are differences. Here's a look at the EV9's interior, but if you want a more in-depth look at it, you can just watch my video by clicking on the pop-out banner there or scanning the QR code on screen now. One thing I'm not sure of though is this. What is that? Now at first I thought it might be a speaker behind there, but I don't think it is. It's just a trim piece. Why even add it? If you're wondering what this little nubbin is there, that's got the little sensors in which monitor your eyes to make sure you're paying attention and not like looking at the screen. The middle row of this car is really, really spacious. This one has the upgraded 6-seater option, costs this much extra. Check this out, right? So with the seats all the way back, I've got this much knee room and loads of foot space. Even if I pull it all the way forward, look, I can still get away with some level of comfort. And I really like this as well, look. The seats recline very far. You can do a lot of miles in the middle row in this car, especially in this configuration, and you have like the armrests and everything. Look, oh lovely. And being a 6-seater version, it's really easy to get into the back because you can just go through this gap here. Now there are some other things I want to show you. So here on this control panel you can see that I've got seat heating on these seats and seat cooling and climate control as well. We also have a big drawer in here, which is handy. Plus there's a USB-C there and a USB-C there, and if you're sat in this seat and you need more leg room, you can press a button here to move the front passenger seat forward. Also we've got some big door bins, we've got 2 cup holders here, we've got the same level of quality here in the back as in the front, which is good. You've got huge rear windows, and look, despite being huge they still go all the way down. Plus we have the ever handy sunshades as well. There's some pockets on the seat backs, and you can access this central cubby here from the back if you want. Now let's get into the very back. I'm not going to walk through that bit because that's cheating, so I'm going to do it this way to show you the mechanism. Right, press a button on here, folds that forward, and now I can slide that part forward. I'm just going to climb in. Shut that door behind me. Right. I'm going to move this one out of the way so you can see what's happening. Right, yo. Oh. Right.
No copyright.
Clearly doesn't have a memory on it, so what you'd need is someone to get into the front. Jack, can you just jump into the front? I do find that these seats sit quite off the floor, so you do have decent under thigh support for being in the third row. So Jack, oh no, sorry, I know I said front. I meant in front of me.
The middle.
Yeah. We'll get there in the end. Right, get in the middle. How tall are you?
6'2".
6'2". So let's see if you can get comfy in front of me. You need to have an okay amount of knee room. Happy that you can go, I don't know, 100 miles.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm bolt upright at the moment.
Go on then, get a bit of recline on, get yourself comfy. Look at that.
Dang.
I'm fine here, and there's a little cutout underneath this seat so I can slide my toes underneath it to get really comfy. It's very, very good. I've got 2 cup holders here, decent sized window, and look, we have air vents back here as well. The headroom is amazing too. So roomy, so spacious. Really, really useful family car, this.
Matt, why are they holding the headliner up with buttons?
As these things here. So here in the back and in the front there's these little things here, and it says on it acoustic control. There's a little microphones in there, and they're used for the noise cancellation system. So as you're driving along, it picks up like the noise, the ambient noise, and then plays an opposite noise through the speakers to cancel it out. So the car should be nice and quiet. You can get the Ioniq 9 with hands-free tailgate opening, so as long as you have the key in your pocket, if you get close to the boot like that, wait for a minute, I'll flash its indicators, and then the boot will open. It's quite handy if you've got hands full of shopping or luggage or whatever. Anyway, the boot capacity with all 7 seats in place is 338 litres, which is about the same as a Hyundai Ioniq hatchback. It's not bad considering you can carry 7 people with that much room. Let's see what it actually means in terms of what you can carry. Because it's third row in place, you don't have a load cover. So 4 easily fit. You could probably mount another 2 up there like that, but oh yeah, look, you can. That's good. Look. Oh, wait. Bear with me. Look, this has 6 seats, so there's a suitcase for every seat. Brilliant. It will shut. Calling it now, yes. Brilliant. Now you might think that's impressive, but if you want an even more impressive boot capacity with all seats in place in a big 7-seater or 6-seater MPV, you need to check out my video review of the VW ID Buzz. You can do that by clicking on the pop-up banner up there or scanning the QR code on screen now. There's also a link in the description of this video. I'm going to get these out, bear with me.
No copyright.
You're only going to use that when you fold down these seats, which you can do dead easy by just pressing these buttons. And now you have over 900 litres of luggage space. Look at that. Now I could put all of these in there. I'm not going to bore you with it now. Look, they'd easily fit in there. But I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to fold down the middle row. Once again, press a button. These just flip straight down like that. Yeah, there are gaps, can you see? So like, things might get a little bit trapped, but it's not too much of a problem. Very, very practical car there. So you've got some other features in the boot, such as 12-volt socket there. You've got some tie-down points. You have that switch there, which will hold this boot at a certain height. So if you have to open it in like low garages, you can set the height lower. What's this? This is a release for something. What do you reckon that's for? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, let's just check out the front boot, see if it's got one. Most cars have like a cable port to open the front boot, but this one, look, it's a button, it's electric, double press it. There you go, it's open. Let's see what kind of space we've got under here, if any at all. Look, there we go, there is some. It's always good to have a place separate than your boot to hold your charging cables. That's 52 litres of space. If you go for the rear drive only version, this is the dual motor, you actually have 88 litres of space. And that brings you on to 5 annoying things about the Ioniq 9. This is a high-tech car, and you'd have thought that Hyundai would have figured out the problem of warning pedestrians when it's reversing in a better way than they actually have. Put the car into drive, and that is the noise you get when the car's moving forwards. Yeah, it's not too loud, it's fine. But when you put it into reverse, it gets louder because it's only got one speaker and it's in the front. So if the car's reversing and the people are behind it, they need to be able to hear it. So they just amp up the volume. Just fit another speaker at the back. Here's another thing where they could have just added a bit more tech, especially when you consider this particular car got here is £80,000. So the wireless charging pad there, it's great, it's got these grippers, and it can charge reasonably quickly as well. The problem with that is that your phone does get hot, and they haven't fitted any cooling like so many other manufacturers do. Why not? The optional digital door mirrors are £1,000 extra. Don't bother with them, and I'll explain why now. You see, they may reduce the drag of the car by 0.1 CD, but that's not going to add that much range. And they're nowhere near as good as normal traditional door mirrors. First off, you don't really have any depth perception when you're using a camera compared to a normal mirror. Also, the way they work is that they have a zoomed in image. You don't actually move the camera around, and so what it does is just move around that zoomed in image when you're pressing the button to actually look about and angle the mirror. It's a bit like a Ring doorbell. So with a normal mirror you'd be able to like angle it all the way out here, but I'm probably lost from that image now. And then there's the fact that when you're reversing next to a curb with a normal mirror, you can angle them all the way down to clearly see your rear alloy wheel, so you don't curb them. With this, it sort of zooms out to give you the full zoomed out image, but you can't really see the rear wheels. That's going to be no good for parking. Like I said, don't bother with them. This is one long car. It's over 5 meters in length. As a result, the turning circle isn't great. It's 12.5 meters, which is worse than these competitors. Now in other markets you can get rear axle steering, which will make the turning circle probably about 1 meter less. For some reason though, you can't get it in the United Kingdom. Thanks Hyundai. Oh, this is a practical family car, so we've got ISOFIX on the front passenger seat. Wait a minute. There's none. However, it's not all bad because you do have 4 other ISOFIX locations in this car. So let's try them out. And that brings on to 5 good things about this car. So this is the first. Look at this. So we've got ISOFIX here on these middle seats. Then if you have the middle bench, you have the same 2 in the middle row. As you can see, it's very easy to get a big rear facing seat into the car because it's got big doors. But let's try in the back row. Can I get it in? It's not terrible. Actually, that wasn't too bad at all. Right. ISOFIX easy to find, really easy to find. This is about as easy as it gets. That's impressive. And if I give it a bit of that 360, look at that! Look! That is doable.
That's crazy.
Impressive. You can use this car's battery to either power or charge lots of different things. For instance, you have a normal 3-pin socket here in the boot, so a full 240 volts. So my AMI in there, my Citroen AMI. Look, it says it's charging, and it says it's charging over there. Yes.
No copyright. They're doing construction upstairs, chat. They're doing construction. Your boy not trying to get no copyright, bro. I'm sorry.
Citroen is like a parasite to this Hyundai, just leeching its resources. That's not all though. These 2 USB-C ports there can output up to 100 watts, which is incredible. So you can charge stuff like laptops. You hear that? It's charging. In fact, this computer's own wall charger only does 60 watts. And then there's this. See this drawer here? You put your mobile phone in there, right? Shut it and press this button here, and it turns on UV lights in there which will disinfect your phone. The front seats have a special waiting to charge feature. If I press this button here, the steering wheel will move up out of the way, the seat will recline, and this little pad will lift up to cushion your calves. I now feel like I'm about to undergo therapy. If someone or something blocks your view in the rear view mirror, don't worry, you can get this car with a special camera which looks at the back so you can still see in the mirror. Also, you can get the car with some blind spot camera, so when you indicate it will show you what's in your blind spot. Hello, it's actually me. Want an electric car that's good for towing? Well, look no further than the Ioniq 9. It can tow 2.5 tons, which is as much as any EV can tow. The only other cars that can tow as much as this is the Kia EV9 and the BMW iX. The UK government has just announced £650 million in grants to cut the cost of an electric car. As of now, manufacturers are busy applying for grants to get you up to 3,750 quid off an electric car. And the good news is this will also apply to leasing, which means you could save money on your monthly rentals. And if you're lucky enough to work for an employer that has an EV salary sacrifice scheme, the saving comes on top of any tax savings, so it's a win-win. There's never been a better time to lease an electric car. Head to carwow.co.uk/leasey to browse leasing deals or check out our salary sacrifice scheme.
All Hyundai Ioniq 9s come with a 106 kWh battery pack, but there are 3 motor options to choose from, which affect your total range. The entry-level car with a single 218 horsepower motor has the longest range at 385 miles. Dual motor all-wheel drive cars with 307 horsepower can manage up to 376 miles, and this 427 horsepower performance model can do 372 miles. And later in this video, I'll find out how close this top spec Ioniq 9 can actually get to this claimed range.
So which is my favourite version of the Hyundai Ioniq 9? So I've actually configured it using the CarWow configurator. If you want to find out what it is, click on the pop-out banner up there or scan the QR code on screen now. There's also a link in the description of this video. You wouldn't expect a big, heavy electric SUV like this to feel sporty to drive. And you know what? This thing does not disappoint because it's not sporty to drive. However, if you think of it as being in a relationship, don't set your expectations too high, and that way you won't be disappointed. And when you take this car for what it really is, a big, heavy electric SUV, it actually corners well enough, it steers well enough, it's fine. And now I'm getting the lane keeping assist cutting in, so once again, instead of digging down into the menu here, I can just press and hold the adaptive cruise control steering icon to turn that feature off as well. Brilliant. And now I can carry on talking to you about this car without being interrupted by driver's aids. Now I can get back to the expectations, because you do expect a car like this to be a comfy cruiser, and indeed it delivers in that respect. So the suspension is comfortable. Sometimes with electric cars they can be a bit jiggly over bumps. This one really isn't, and it deals with bigger bumps extremely well. Now it doesn't glide down the road in the same way that a BMW iX does on its air suspension, but like for like spec match one of these to an iX, and the iX is way more expensive. Now I'll tell you what does impress though, the noise levels. This car has that noise cancelling technology I've told you about, so when you're cruising at speed it's reasonably quiet. Also you've got laminated glass to reduce wind noise, plus I actually found special insulation in the wings. I've never seen it on a car before, maybe I just never noticed, but there's big panels in the wings which are obviously there to soak up tyre noise and wind noise, but it works. What I'm less impressed with though is the efficiency. So this car is averaging 2.5 miles per kilowatt hour. When you multiply that up by the battery's capacity, you're looking at a real world range of around 270 miles. This particular version is supposed to do 370 miles. So that's about 75% of what Hyundai claims, which isn't brilliant. What is brilliant though is the control you have over the regen braking. So you can use these pedals, they're not for shifting gears because there are no gears, but you can alter the amount of regen, so you can actually turn it off so the car just coasts when you lift off the accelerator. Feels like it's just going to roll forever. Or you could just add in regen to 4 different levels, and the 4th level is I-pedal. So I-pedal means that you've got full one-pedal driving, so you can actually bring the car to a complete standstill just by lifting off the accelerator. It'll give you that much regen braking. That gives you loads of control over driving the car at low speed, especially in town, and you don't actually have to touch the brake at all unless it's an emergency. Then there's the other thing you can do, which is go completely the other way and put it into auto mode. Now what it does is use the standard fit adaptive cruise control technology to use the regen braking to keep a safe distance from the car in front. So if I lift off the accelerator now, it notices I'm getting closer to the car in front, it's regen braking pretty strongly, but as that car starts to pull away, it's going to reduce the regen braking and let it coast more. All very, very clever. Not sure why it's not helping with the efficiency though. Now you might be thinking that's all a good math, but a big car like this is going to be a bit cumbersome to navigate around a busy city or town street. But it's not as bad as you might think. Visibility is really good forward, at the sides, and even out the back. And of course, you've got the backup of all the technology and the camera systems as well to help you out. You know what? Overall, I find this is a very, very pleasant, nice, relaxing car to drive, and I like it. It just allows you to get about fuss-free. Now let's check out the performance. So I'm going to launch it from 0 to 60 and time it in 3 different modes. So I'm going to start off in eco mode, see if it makes a difference what mode I'm in. So we've got 2 electric motors because this is the range topping version, 4-wheel drive, and a combined 427 horsepower. Let's do it. Launching it, 3, 2, 1.
Imagine being able to build anything.
YouTube, man. Y'all funny as hell.
That doesn't feel like 427 horsepower. 8.97 seconds. Wow, see. Right, let's up the ante and go into normal mode. Should be faster this time. I hope it is, otherwise... Ugh. Oh look, I've just noticed this. When you put the car into reverse, the lights here, the 4 little dots, go red. So, 3, 2, 1. That's much stronger. Much stronger. 4.96 seconds. That's quick for a big car. It's got really good traction and lots of performance. There is a bit of a delay when you first put your foot down. It doesn't feel like really snappy. It's a build-up of power. Let's try and sport. Ready, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Seems sharper. You got a quicker time now? Yeah, ever so slightly. Was it the same? 4.93? Can't remember. It was so long ago. It's about the same, I think.
Okay, hold on. Let me see that.
4.93. Can't remember. It was so long ago. It's about the
0 to 60, 4.96. 0 to 60, 4.93. That's crazy. That's crazy.
same, I think. The picker, when you just floor it when you're moving, seems sharper in sport mode than normal, so it's a bit more aggressive. The throttle mapping. What was the thing I was going to do? I've forgotten that. This thing I thought I need to show you, and I've just forgotten it. What is it? Oh well, if it pops into my head, I'll tell you.
A few moments later.
Oh, I know what I meant to tell you. So we've got some other driving modes. I haven't tested them because they're actually for off-roading, snow, mud and sand. I'm not going to be taking this car in snow, mud or sand, I don't think. Anyway, that was what I needed to tell you. I'm not going mad after all. Right, braking from 60 miles an hour needs to be under 40 metres, really does on a dry day like today. If we can get close to 35, that would be good. Let's find out. It is heavy, this thing. Here we go. Coming in hot right now. What we got? Wow, that's good. 34 metres. I'm pleased with that. The car should be pleased with it. Hyundai should be pleased with it. You should be pleased with it. Everyone rejoice. So then, what's my final verdict on the new Hyundai Ioniq 9? Should you avoid it, consider it, shortlist it, or just go right ahead and buy it? Well, I reckon that if you're after a large, family-friendly electric SUV, you should shortlist the Ioniq 9.
Well, chat, that will be all for today. I see you guys on the next video when I do this one right here. It says, is this 50K Rolls Royce is ultimate luxury car? So now, without further ado, make sure that you guys like, comment, subscribe. Let me know down in the comments. Oh, and I got some more gameplays of Forza. I still gotta beat the game of Little Nightmares 2. If you guys haven't watched those part 1 and part 2, I suggest y'all to just scroll down until y'all see Little Nightmares part 1 and part 2. I will be completing that game sometime next week. So yeah. Without further ado, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and see you guys on the next video. Oh my gosh, they're making so much noise.